Welcome to this shortwave radio channel, and we talked about it in the live show, and I thought that we would have a couple of demonstrations here. So this is the Degen DE1103 original, and I've had this for something like 10 years. It's been around for a long time now. Still works great. Very unique form factor, and overall good receiver. But one of the things that is making a lot of people a little bit unsure is how to tune single sideband on a receiver that is like this one. And I always say, when we talk of the higher end radios like the Texan H501X, people don't realize that the tuning of single sideband signals is so much easier on a radio like that. And even on a lower end Texan PL330, the fact that there's precise tuning eliminates a lot of the hardship of trying to tune single sideband signals. The only thing you have to know is it an upper or lower sideband? And as a general rule, everything on the utility bands pretty much is upper sideband all the time. Amateur radio, it's split half and half. The upper part of the amateur bands, 14 megahertz and up, is upper sideband, and the 7 megahertz and down is lower sideband. That's pretty much it. There's a 5 megahertz channels, that's an exception to the rules, that's upper sideband. But apart from that, you can pretty much have that rule that upper frequencies in the ham bands are upper, lower frequencies are lower. Now, of course, this radio doesn't have upper or lower sideband. It has SSB, single sideband. So I've had in the past people tell me, well, that means I don't have upper or lower sideband. You do. SSB is SSB. Single sideband has upper and lower sidebands, and you can tune both on this radio. Like any radio that has SSB with what we call a BFO, which is actually this little wheel here, controls the frequency of the internal oscillator a little bit if you want. So you got to adjust it to what you're listening to. Now, what's upper and lower sideband, and how do you know if you're in upper or lower sideband? And the thing is, it's very difficult to really know because you're never really sure if you're exactly on the frequency. But typically when you tune a signal in upper sideband, you'll go in one direction, and you'll notice that upper sideband signals, you always go in the same direction. And lower sideband, you'll go in the other direction. And you'll notice that to tune them, you'll always go in the other direction. Typically, the adjustment on a Degen like this is lower sideband, you usually kind of go downwards with the fine-tuning button. And upper sideband, you go upwards. But there's a catch. And the catch is, where are you tuned here? Are you on the frequency of the signal or a little off? It adds to the difficulty of tuning, unfortunately. So that's why a lot of you have posted over time, and I've seen a lot of these comments of, I've never been able to clearly tune a single sideband signal. Yeah, it's a hit and miss a little bit on these radios because you need to really make sure you're on the frequency. So here, I'm on the 40 meter band amateur radio, okay? So what we're gonna do, here's one. Let's try to tune it. I'm kind of lucky here because I got it out of the blue. One of the first things you'll want to do, okay, is that this wheel is as a center. So when you go up, it stops at a certain point. You go down, it stops at the other end. You want to be somewhere in the middle, as close to the middle as possible when you start tuning around. That's going to already facilitate the tuning of single sideband signals. Some radios have a little dent that you can feel. For example, my Texan PL680, the BFO has a dent. I know where I'm centered because I can feel the little dent while turning the BFO button. Unfortunately, a lot of radios don't have it, and you have to kind of rely on your ears and kind of guess that you're approximately in the middle. So let's go back to the 40 meter band and see what we're going to tune. What's here? Let's see what we can get. Any signals? Wow. So now, here is one. You try to find where's the center. And start playing with the BFO to try to get a clear voice. One thing that to note is that if you can't get a clear voice, you probably are off frequency. So move up or down 1 or 2 kilohertz and try again. Being off by too big of an amount means that the BFO button here cannot go high enough or low enough for you to tune the single sideband signal. So you can see here how these radios are a little more difficult to tune single sideband in general. But once you get the hang of it, you as you get the hang of it, you'll eventually be an expert at doing it with these radios. You see here, I don't have too much difficulty, but that's years and years of tuning single sideband all the time with these types of radios. So I already kind of have a little bit of the hang, and my ear, I know where I'm probably as close as possible to the frequency that they are broadcasting on. Here we go. So it's really experience. You have to play around and try it. Let's see if there's something on the 20 meter band, for example. We'll go on 14, 1, 1, 1 with sideband. Make sure that you're centered as much as possible with the button. It's just around here roughly. Anything on 20 meters. This is upper sideband. Trying to find some. There's something here. Definitely being centered helps me a lot, and knowing where and how to tune. That's very important to follow that rule every time. But still, you'll have to play with the button, the BFO, in order to tune something. FD8. So wherever you're tuning, you will of course try always to be centered. Often you can hear it when you tune up and down. There's a slight change in pitch. What you want is to be on the lowest pitch possible, that kind of 0 beats. One thing you can try to help zero in on it is to use a time signal station. For example, if I use WWV, what you could do is put yourself in single sideband. You hear that one side and the other side. makes a tone. You want to zero beat this, meaning not hearing a tone at all anymore. That means you're pretty much centered, and then you can go on any band and try to tune around. Say, for example, in a minute's time, there's going to be I'm going to go to 6/4. There it goes. There's going to be the time signal from Gander, Newfoundland on 6604. I know the frequency. So what I'll do is, you've seen that I close zero beat on the signal of WWV. So I shouldn't be very far away when tuning 6604. So this is some radio teletype. Oh yeah, I forgot about this, the way this radio tunes, which is very unique. The buttons are a little hard to use. It shows that I don't use it enough. So if I put myself on 6604 and wait for the sign-on of Gander, Newfoundland, Canada, I shouldn't be very far. That is also something you can do. As you see here, I'm very close. So that's another thing you want to try. You can try known frequencies of utilities when they are broadcasting and practice with that signal. Here you go, another one here. And of course, they say practice makes perfect. That's why practice, practice, practice. The handbands are a good practice because you're never sure exactly what frequency they're tuning, since there's not enough precision in the display here with the BFO. And of course, utilities are another way. When you know that they broadcast from some utility station, tune that frequency and practice tuning that, turning that BFO until the voice is clear. And with practice, you will eventually have it. And it will become easier as time goes by. You'll become an expert at doing it. And you won't mind that your radio is a little finicky on this SSB, because you'll just be used to it and tune like a pro. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up. Thank you for watching.